The one thing I do want to recommend is don't stop entertaining. Remember, we talked about having fun. So if you go to the Bryant Park Grill, for example, in New York City, you'll find that the Bryant Park Grill is based on an aviary. Take a picture of a bird, check in, show the picture to your server, and get a free dessert. Well, my wife and I went to town. What fun. They were right. There's birds all over the place, and you don't see all these birds in New York City. So they were having fun with the platform. Jimmy Choo literally had 4,000 people running around London chasing a shoe. It was a new promotion for a brand new shoe, a $500 shoe. If you were able to check in to the same place where the shoe was before the shoe went off to another place, you'd win a free pair of shoes. Well, they had 4,000 people checking in a 2-week period. Sales of that particular shoe went up 33% during those 2 weeks. That's having fun. A Hofbrau house in New York City recommends that if you come in wearing a traditional German outfit, you get a free half-liter of their original. That's what people are doing. You see, the people are inside that bar, and they are actually on their phones. So this is what's powerful. This is what's powerful about Foursquare and its ability to connect with people in so many different ways. Selda, we have a couple of questions as we...
Yeah, we're having two sort of big topics that are coming up. One is sort of picking the incentives, picking the giveaways, picking the prizes. Some people are having trouble, figure out how to figure out what to give away. Some people are having questions about, if I work in an industry that's not like hospitality or something like that, like if I work at a bank or healthcare or something like that, how do I come up with an engaging special?
Yeah, again, it may not be for every type of business. I don't believe in putting a square peg in a round hole. But I am intrigued by the number of businesses in so many different industries that are using it creatively. Now, I don't know why you would want to attract someone to a bank per se. I mean, if it's not their bank, I don't know. Because I'm not a banker, but you got to think creatively. Maybe you do want people to walk in or discover your bank if it's next to a Bank of America and yours is Wells Fargo or something or another bank. Maybe that is an opportunity to create a creative special. Oh, we notice you're on Foursquare. Come into our bank, open an account, and get this. That might be compelling enough just to do it. Now, I don't know what that would be. I'm not a banker. I don't run a bank. So again, that's up to you. You need to sit around, maybe talk to a few of your colleagues and say, what would make the greatest incentive? But an incentive that is strong enough for people to share that incentive with their broader social network on Twitter and Facebook. That's where the real power comes in. When people unlock a special, it's shared with the rest of their friends on Foursquare, Twitter, and Facebook. What was the other question, Sal?
So, and this might be covered in the 5 pitfalls, but employee education. One person was saying that, one of the problems is they've checked into Foursquare, shown this to their server or whoever, and they said, oh, I don't know what that is, and they didn't sort of get the special as a result. And there's been a couple of people who have said employee education is an issue. Oh,
I totally agree. Which is why my number one pitfall is no employee training. I don't. Yeah, it's actually awful. I hate when I see that. You walk in, exactly like our viewer found. I mean, you walk into an establishment, they have no idea what you're talking about. For what? You could almost tell. As soon as you show it to them, they got this haze in their eye, they tilt their head, and they go, for what? That's when I say, never mind, I'll move on. This happens a lot. But folks, it's not a Foursquare thing. Okay, let's be honest. It's just bad customer service. This happens all the time with marketing initiatives. And I think I can be open and honest with the people on the phone because we're mostly marketers. Doesn't this happen all the time where you have this great new initiative and you're in the marketing department, you know it's going to work, but it doesn't get filtered down to the rest of the organization? Yeah, so you have to make sure that your employees know about your most recent marketing initiatives. Now, Chili's did something really easy. They have 80,000 employees. They all know about it. How? When you show the phone to the server, it says on the bottom, server, use coupon code XYZ. And they said once they did that, they never had a problem. So, again, but you have to tell people what Foursquare is and how your customers are going to use it. Here are a couple of others, Sal. Let me go through these real quickly. Lane specials. Don't ask me to check in 10 times before giving me a 5% discount. I'm not going to do that. There's a lot of just people not thinking through specials that aren't nearly as creative as they could be. How about ignoring the mayor? Don't ignore the mayor. The mayor is your most loyal customer. And when somebody loses a mayorship, they check in again and again and again because they want to be the mayor. People are fanatical about being the mayor. If you have poor customer service, why do you invite people in on Foursquare to experience it? Just don't. Do us all a favor. Get your customer service in line first. I mean, if you're known on Yelp and other review sites as having really poor customer service, I'm not exactly sure why you want to invite hundreds of more people to experience it. And finally, doing it just to do it. That's a problem. You know, if you do it because, hey, I was on this webinar and it was really great and we should be on Foursquare, but there isn't buy-in necessarily, or there isn't a real dedication on the part of everybody in the organization to get into it aggressively and start using these new mobile campaigns, they kind of flounder. Maybe they get lost in the shuffle, or the specials get old and stale. The neat thing about Foursquare is you can update your specials all the time based on the weather outside. That's where the creativity comes in. So thank you very much for listening to us today. This was based on the new book, Power of Foursquare. As Sal had mentioned, you could go to the website. Follow me on Foursquare. I'll be checking in and leaving tips, especially in all the venues that have appeared in the book. You can follow me on Twitter at Carmine Gallo, or just visit our website to learn more about our communications practice. Thanks, Sal.
Awesome. We got a ton of questions and not a lot of time, so I'm going to try to get through some of these right now.
Send me questions on Twitter, too. I'll get back to those later. At Awareness Inc. Or, I'm sorry, Pound Awareness Inc. Pound Awareness Inc.
Well, we'll get both. So,
yep.
One question I had, and this goes back to the beginning of the presentation, and I thought it was worth bringing up, is that one of our users said, you said it's free, but it's not free, because it does involve resources, it involves time, strategy. So the app itself does not have any costs, but there is other costs. Now, have you, you've talked to a lot of companies that are using this, you have a lot of great case studies. Has that ever been an issue? How are companies looking at that?
That really hasn't been a big issue. Now, one person has brought up that it takes too much time or strategy involved. It can be very, very simple. If you're holding 20 meetings on what to do with our Foursquare strategy, I think that's, 19 too many. You can get started immediately. And I'm not sure how much time it takes to train your people. I really do. I mean, there should be ongoing training anyway. So it'll take you another 2 minutes to explain, by the way, we started a brand new marketing program. It's called Foursquare. Foursquare is a social media app where people check in to our business, and they're going to get XYZ for doing so. Let me show you a photograph of what their phone will look like. I talked to one restaurant, a small restaurant chain in New York. I forgot the name. I forgot particularly. Earth Kitchen. I think it was called Earth Kitchen. And I remember walking in, and I said, how did all the employees know about the new Foursquare campaign? And they simply said they got newsletters and they got an email with a picture inside. Everyone got an email and there was a photograph inside. This is our new campaign. This is what it looks like, and this is what people are going to show you on their phone. When they do, punch in this coupon code, on the cash register. So again, I think you need to be in mobile in some capacity because this is where marketing is going. I see this as a relatively free, easy to use way of doing it. There may be others, Sal. Frankly, there are some other location-based services out there. There may be other tools. But remember when you said that people are overwhelmed? This is a simple, easy, free way of getting involved in mobile. Once you are, you may find that there are other tools that are even more appropriate for you. Good. God bless you. That's great. But this is a good way of getting started, I think.
Well, I think that's great advice. I love that advice for training using visual training, especially when it comes to this. This is a picture of what they are going to show you, and I think that works even if you're selling up, not down. This is hypothetically what they would see. I also think something that you mentioned at the beginning also speaks to sort of the time resource issue. Is that this is part of your strategy. It's not some separate thing. It's part of your social media strategy, and social media in turn is part of your overall marketing strategy. So when you're sort of allocating resources, you don't say, okay, X number of hours I have to spend on Foursquare. This is already part of the time you have allotted to the rest of your social media. And when you take a look at it like that, it doesn't seem like it's that huge of a resource constraint. Another question I had was, why do you think that Foursquare has survived in the face of Facebook Places, which a lot of people thought would just sort of bury all of the location-based competition, but definitely has not?
Because it's a game. It's a game. Facebook Places did not really have that gaming element to it. People are fanatical about Foursquare. And that's what you, as a business owner or marketer, need to understand. You yourself may not use it, or if you do use it, maybe you don't care about being the mayor of any place. I'll be completely honest with everybody on this webinar today. I don't care about being the mayor. It doesn't do anything to me, frankly. Especially if you're not going to reward me in some way. If you're just going to put my picture up, I don't care. I don't care about being the mayor. But my wife, she's the mayor of 20 places in town. And when she loses her mayorship, she goes back again and again until she gets it back. That's the kind of person you need to know about. Because people love the game. People love comparing their points. If you travel somewhere, maybe you check into some place you've never been before, you get more points. So you're on top of the leaderboard. You get badges. Foursquare has dozens and dozens of badges. They're just virtual badges that are pushed down to your phone based on things like checking in, 4 nights in a row. You get the Crunked badge, or something like, I think it's called the Bender badge. So there's a whole gaming aspect to this that people love, and that's part of the fun, is that you can actually be engaged in this as a business owner, and don't just push the same old coupons to people. Play the game, have fun, get people much more engaged. Facebook did not have that, and frankly, I'm not sure how central it was to its, to the rest of its business. But I'll tell you one thing very interesting about Facebook. Everybody thought it was going to crush Foursquare when Facebook Places came out, a check-in service. Well, Foursquare actually exploded because I think what's happening is that people become more familiar with location-based services like Foursquare. And then once they discover Foursquare, they realize, oh, this is kind of fun. This is kind of addictive. I like this. So if more businesses, like all of us on the line, if we can start engaging people more and adding to the platform just grows, and it kind of benefits everybody.